Hello and welcome to the Ross Cloud Podcast. I'm your host, Carl Sr. And this platform was created to motivate and to inspire in hopes that you will become a better you. We'd like to welcome you to the African Connection with my special co-host,
Femi Osinowo.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I didn't say your name this time, brother.
I know. You get there. You get there.
Thank you for the encouragement, my brother.
I know that's right.
Listen, I hope you guys are enjoying these sounds right here that we pick out for you guys.
That's right.
Sounds so good. Let me give a shout out to everybody out there that's listening, especially right here in North Carolina. From my hometown, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the Trey Foe. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening. Charlotte, Queen City, Durham, the Bull Town, Raleigh, North Carolina, Stand Up, Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Thank you guys for listening and surrounding areas. Shout out to Boardman. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of the Ross Cloud Podcast. Of course, over there in Brussels, Belgium, to our Femish speaking community. I had a little flip up there. Femi.
It's okay. It's okay.
Bonjour to our French-speaking folks.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Comment ça va?
All right, now, don't do it. Don't do it to them, brother.
Ça va bien. That's right.
That's right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. To our Dutch-speaking folks over there. And, of course, Brittany Griner.
All right.
Y'all go ahead and make that deal happen and bring her home. So hopefully the next time we talk to you guys, Brittany will be back home on home turf. We miss you, sister. Can't wait till you come home. Of course, to our African brothers and sisters out there that are listening in Senegal, thank you guys for tuning in to the Ross Cloud Podcast in Malaysia and India. We don't take it lightly. Thank you guys. Boston.
Thank you.
Brooklyn. Yes, sir. New York. Up there in New Jersey. Thank you guys for listening. Down there in the ATL. Yes, sir. Stone Mountain. Surrounding. Yeah, Chi-Town. That's right. Detroit. Man,
right.
Thank you guys for tuning in and listening down there in Texas. And, of course, Los Angeles.
Right.
West, y'all.
California.
Yes, sir.
California love.
Yeah. I love it. I love it, baby. Yes, sir. So listen, we're going to go ahead and get right into it.
Before we get into that.
Oh, go ahead.
I'd like to shout out to all the West Africans, East Africans, South Africans, North Africans, all the Africans. I'd like to thank everybody for listening, tuning in to the Ross Cloud Podcast.
Yes, sir.
So let's get started.
All right, let's get right on in. So listen, today we're going to talk about South Africa and apartheid and how it affected that area. And first of all, South Africa is very beautiful.
I've heard. I have never been.
Get out of here.
No, I haven't
really?
been. I have never been. Those are one of the places that I'll probably visit down the line.
Absolutely.
I haven't been. I have a lot of family members that have been. I also have a friend that he's in South Africa right now.
Really?
He stays in South Africa.
I love it.
There's a lot of Nigerians in South Africa.
Really?
Right.
Really? Right. So, we're kind of going to talk about it a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about South Africa and apartheid, and I think all of us are familiar with it. Similar to what happened with our civil rights movement here in America, but I think it's a little different.
Right.
Am I right, Femi?
If we talk about South Africa, everybody always relate to Nelson Mandela.
Yes.
Who has passed away.
Yes.
He died maybe 15 years ago.
Yeah, I know that. I don't know that.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I think you're right.
Right.
But I think you're right, though.
He passed, and I think his wife also passed away.
Yeah, Winnie passed away.
Yeah.
She should.
So, but before he left, he left a legacy.
Yes, sir. Beautiful legacy.
He fought for that country.
Yes, he did.
He was jailed for almost 25 years fighting for South Africa.
Ain't that something?
Came home, and the rest was history.
Yeah. And I think that's like, for us, I guess, in the States at that time. I'll say this. I won't put everybody in a category in my mind. I'll just say, for me, I was just shocked to know that South Africa, that was going on.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you still, I was just thinking, that's Africa. That's the motherland. Ain't
right.
no way.
Yeah.
So, when they start talking about it, I was sitting there like, what?
Mm-hmm.
And, you're looking at the dates, too.
Right.
You're like, wait a minute. This ain't 1960.
Nah.
We're talking about like this happening right now.
Right.
Right.
And back then, leading to now.
Yeah.
Man, the Dutch.
Get out of here.
Yeah. The Dutch colonized some of the South African.
I got you. So that kind of thinking,
right,
was pressed into.
Right. That's why they could speak Dutch.
Understood. Thank you. I didn't even know it, but you know what? I didn't even know it was Dutch speaking.
Right.
Thank you for bringing that up.
There are some parts they speak Dutch, but the prominent language is English. Everybody speaks English.
Okay, in South Africa.
In South Africa. And then they also have their own main languages that they speak.
I got you.
I have even there are some South Africans that I've met right here in Greensboro.
Oh,
Greensboro, North Carolina. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man.
And
that's cool.
Back then, we used to talk about a lot of stuff. We have similar situations.
I got you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When it comes to South Africa, Nigeria, and just in Africa, period.
So. Yeah, as I was doing my research, as I was looking, man, I was thinking about how, I really just asked the question. I was like, so how did, South Africa become this country where it was predominantly white like that? And then when it talked about political reasons, and we always talk about the economy, and how those things, it caused a surge, a flood,
right,
from people they just ended up going there. That's where it led them because of economics and because of political differences.
Right.
And it led them to South Africa. But not only that, the Portuguese, a few people from Brazil migrated into that area too.
Right.
And so as I was looking, I was like, wow. So this began 1960s, 1970s. You start seeing the influx of people coming in because of that. So I was just sitting there like, this is everything pretty much that we've talked about. But now you're getting into how, the economy, the political things.
Right.
All of this caused all of this.
Right.
And it's still that way today.
Right.
We don't see it. I'm talking about what I'm talking about is here in America, politics and economics, all that stuff clash together.
Right.
And then you have the dividing of the races still. Racism still exists and everything. But at any rate, we're talking about South Africa.
Right.
So if you would, Femi, based off of your perception, could you go a little deeper? If you can, as much as you can?
And also in South Africa, the crime rate is high.
Really?
Right, the crime rate and poverty. Certain places and
as beautiful as
it is, it's just like Nigeria. As beautiful as it is,
crime is everywhere.
Yeah, crime is always going to be everywhere. Yeah. Poverty, the level of poverty. You have, Cape Town being the capital.
Yes, sir.
Of South Africa. You have Johannesburg. Places like that. Yes, but like. There are some tourists. They're real scared to go to South Africa.
Yeah.
Some, not all, but some of them they're scared. Yeah. And they have like you said, they have a really, really beautiful view. They're like they have beautiful mountains and
absolutely
like waterfalls, like the forest. Like it's something to look forward to.
Sure.
When we talk about South Africa.
Yeah.
And it's one of the richest countries in Africa.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
South Africa.
Yeah.
They also natural resources. They have gold, diamonds in South Africa as well.
Yeah,
we talked about this.
Yeah, we did.
So,
we did. So
we just didn't
go deep.
Go deep into.
We didn't talk about South Africa though, but
so
I was looking.
It's really, really a beautiful. From what I've heard and from from some of the people that has been, and they've came back and told me, we've talked about it. Like, man, and you could even tell because some of the athletes. Some of the basketball players,
I got you. Athletes, I got you.
Yeah, that they've been to South Africa.
Sure,
they always talk about South Africa, like how beautiful it is. Yeah. Even Oprah, like we talked about. That's right. Oprah
had some land.
She opened up a school there in South Africa.
She sure did. You're absolutely right.
She did.
When I was doing my research, what you were saying about how the crime, they was talking about the South African gun crime.
Yes.
They said every night their bullets spring.
Yes.
So again, I guess it has a lot to do with drugs. Drugs could be
it is
politics, corruption, and then we're not even going to talk about the government.
Oh yeah,
probably getting involved with it. So
it's a lot going on in South Africa right now, and as beautiful as that country is, it's just so much. Like we talked about all these different countries in Africa, you know how beautiful the continent is, but the resources that we have, and we can't make nothing about it. It's just greed, like we have to do better. Like, not only the people that lives in Africa, but we as African that live here in the United States, we have to do better because those are our ancestors.
Yeah, true.
That's our heritage.
Yes, it is.
And that's our culture.
That's our culture.
So, but at the same time, we always have to go back to reality.
Oh yeah,
that it's just most of the things it's just the reality of life, corruption, politics. Yeah. All these plays a part in wherever you governing a country.
Yes, sir.
There always gonna be the ups and downs
of it.
But why is it all for years? Africa has always been looked at as a third world country or third world, but if people only understand that Africa is not a third world country or it's not a third world continent.
Correct.
we just got taken advantage of.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, slavery during slavery, and even to this day, we're still affected about it.
Oh yeah.
And you have all this, and people will say, well, if that's the case, well, why the Africans are not doing nothing about the situation?
Well, there's a few people, some activists.
Yeah, it is.
We just don't hear about it.
Yeah.
And this is why I wanted to have this is why I wanted to have the conversation, because, you know, yes, we're going to talk about apartheid. We're going to touch on it. We're going to touch on it a little bit. But these are some of the effects of apartheid, because we still see the separation.
Right.
We don't realize it is, but if somebody projects their dysfunction on you, right, then it's not going to be good.
No.
I mean, let me give you some numbers when it comes to the gun violence. It says, on average, nearly one person an hour is shot dead in South Africa. South Africa, experts say. It was in this huge township that just outside of Johannesburg that 15 people were shot dead in a packed bar earlier this month.
Oh, yeah.
A further victim died later in the hospital. So I don't even think we can fathom. We hear about Chicago, and we know what's happening in Chicago, right?
Detroit.
We know this, Detroit.
New York,
L.A.
L.A.
Houston.
Right.
Dallas.
Right.
Right here in Greensboro.
Right.
We see the numbers with the gun. Raleigh. Durham.
Right.
Fayetteville.
Right.
Those places we don't hear about.
Right.
You can get hurt in these
even in our hometown.
Winston-Salem. Horrible. These guns are getting out of control.
It is.
So the correlation between, it's not just happening here in America.
No.
It's happening everywhere.
Right.
There's a gun violence problem, gun situation.
And you know why that is? Back where I'm from, Nigeria, it's hard to really, really get your hands on guns. Most African countries is hard. The only people that have guns is like the military, the police.
Yeah.
But that means if a person has a gun, that means he has a connection. Getting guns. It's not as easy as it is here in the United States.
Right. It's easy here.
It's easy here.
Very easy.
Very, very easy.
So it's a little bit more difficult.
It is. It is. You have to know people, or you connected to one or two, here or there. Maybe you're a part of.
So is it fair to say that it looks like it's that there's a genocide agenda?
I wouldn't say that. I'm gonna tell you something about
to wipe us completely out.
I'm gonna tell you something about
wipe each other out.
Right. I'm gonna tell you when I went back home,
to correctly say it.
when I went back home when I was younger and growing up, we used to always see all this stuff on TV about how America is. And that's not just Africans. Even if you look at the Asians, we always like to copy what the Americans are doing. We always want to do what they do.
Oh, I know what you
know what I'm saying?
Yes,
so it's like we always look up to what the Americans are doing.
Yeah, and like it's the blueprint.
Right.
I got you.
And whether it's good or bad,
Please don't take the bad.
Right. Because you have kids back home looking up to people on TV, like our children here. They watch these TVs, or they think, that's the same thing back home.
Yes, it is. Same thing back home.
Yeah, same thing back home. They look up to all this superstars.
Yeah.
I'll take that back. Not only the superstars. They just watch a lot of things on a lot of movies or things that they watch on TV. So they want to be that,
without a doubt.
And like I said, the crimes that they're doing is more to solidify that, we could do it here too.
Yeah. Oh, I'm with you.
But and it didn't used to be like that. But now, as you can see, every continent or every country, if you look into the Asian walls or the African walls or the European worlds, you see similarities of things that are going on.
I mean, it's crazy. I'm going to give you some more numbers, right?
Oh, God.
They say on average, 23 people are killed with guns in South Africa each day. And they say this is up from 18 people 6 years ago. So it's up.
Right.
So it's up, Femi. And guess what? He's a young man.
Right.
23, 24, 25. These are young men who are this is happening to.
Every 100,000 people, 30 people would die.
Ain't that's a lot of people, bro.
Every 100,000, 30 people will die, are killed.
So our black mothers are crying over in Africa too.
Yeah.
Losing their son.
Yes. Yes.
Ain't that something?
Poverty, crime. When there's poverty, the crime rate. When there's no work, no jobs, nothing to do.
I'm with you.
Your mind tends to go left.
And you know what's so crazy? Because we have so many different distractions in America.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes we're not vigilant and we miss the devil in the room.
Oh, yeah.
So far as the government is concerned when it comes to infiltrating certain parts of our communities.
Right.
But when you go to Africa, they highlight the corruption.
Right.
But they don't realize the corruption, it's been there.
It has.
And it's getting worse.
Right.
Right?
Right.
But there are not a whole lot of distractions.
Right.
Like it is over here.
Right.
To keep you from seeing it.
Right.
But you can clearly see what this is.
Right.
We see what this is. I mean, so it's sad that this is happening worldwide. It's not just right here in our back door.
No.
With like we just said, with Chicago, South Chicago, and L.A. and Detroit and New York,
New Jersey, right here in North Carolina, right.
We got to get a hold to these guns. We got to get these guns out of these kids' hands.
Right.
But again, we got to change some of the.
And you know what the narratives sometimes.
Yeah.
And I hate to say this.
No, go ahead.
They always say, black kids, they always in gang members but as far as white folks,
we got to kill that narrative.
It is a mental issue. Oh, he's mentally
crazy.
He's sick.
Nah. That's not always the case.
No, it's not always the case.
It's some other elements. Poverty plays a huge part of it.
About a month or two ago, that white kid that just went into their supermarket.
Oh yeah. He knew what he was doing. That's crazy too. But
you saw how he stepped over the white guy. I was like, oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Stepped over him. Right.
Intentional. He knew exactly.
So was he sick? Would you say he was sick?
I don't. I think he knew exactly what he was doing. I'm with you.
So what are we talking about?
What are we talking about? He crazy. That's what they like to say. That's what the public like to say.
Right.
There's something else going on.
Right.
Yeah.
18. I mean, you 18 years old, you could walk into a Walmart or you could walk into and purchase a rifle.
Come on, man. Elementary school, same incident.
Right. The elementary school.
Come on, man.
What are we talking about now?
What are we talking about? Yeah.
So it's not just in South Africa, know. So just to clear the air, and it's not just in South Africa, things happen.
Yes.
It's all over the world.
It's all over the world. We're seeing pretty much how, even when we talk about the civil rights movement,
right?
We're talking about how this affected. It's trauma. It's trauma on so many levels.
It is.
And then you see it happening in South Africa. But then when you do your research, your due diligence, and you do your research, and you find out, like in the 60s and 70s, this was implemented. Apartheid was implemented. Blacks over here, whites over here. I'm better than you because you're black. You drink out of that water fountain. You eat in this you don't eat in a restaurant.
They consider us as animals.
Correct. Right. You sit in the back. Sit in the back. And we looking at it like a time capsule over here in America. We like, what? If you cut
their skin right now, what comes out?
Blood.
The same blood, right?
They're gonna bleed too. It's crazy. So when we're looking at this, apartheid is it's crazy. It's crazy.
It is.
Then,
it is.
You know, there are some other things that have resurfaced too. I haven't really done my research on it as it pertains to some of the people that are in government with South Africa are now saying that they feel like the Palestinians is considered, they should be considered an apartheid country. Yeah, all of this is coming up now. So, so I'm sitting here like, I don't see the correlation in that. They're fighting over something totally different.
Palestine.
I
mean, India.
Yeah, it's something different.
It is.
We talking about something. This is something different.
It is. What?
This is something different.
It is.
This is more spiritual than it is racial. What we see happening with the Palestinians and
right.
If people would study and really understand biblical things, biblical events and how things are, but that's a whole nother show. We can't even we got to really study, but I think
we'll talk about the spiritual.
Yeah.
That's the spiritual level. We'll get into that.
That's
sometime in the next.
Yeah. So the corruption that you see, it's a lot going on.
It is.
Even when you're talking about the jihad and the things that are happening, it's a resting place.
Right.
In some places in Africa. So,
well, the jihad is considered as a holy war.
Absolutely.
Like the Muslim, they believe that they shouldn't have Christianity.
Oh yeah.
And they should kill every Christian. Yeah. And I don't think. I mean,
no.
The real Muslims that are real Muslims. Because I have family that are Muslims.
Sure.
And the real Muslims, they don't think that way.
No, not at all.
It's just the ignorance.
Yeah, it's
of certain Islamic groups, groups of people.
Again, if people would kind of read their Bible, if people would just read and really understand what's happening,
they'll see what's going on now.
They'll see what's really happening.
Right.
Like everything this was already stated.
Right.
In the Bible, this was stated.
I don't want to get spiritual.
Yeah, we won't get to spiritual, but even when it comes to Abraham,
right?
We kind of look at that,
right?
The two sons.
Oh yeah.
We can go real deep.
Oh yes.
Abraham and Sarah. And
right.
How that big fallout is what it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I'm telling you. So,
South Africa.
Africa.
But
yeah,
it's. I'll love to visit South Africa. I'd love to visit it.
Yes, for sure, man. This right here is a conversation that we're gonna have to really come back to, and really.
Right,
and so much in it.
Right, people could check out stuff. People could check out things on Netflix on South Africa as well.
Yes,
there's a lot of movies out.
Yes.
From South Africa,
without a doubt.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah,
actors and actresses from South Africa. So it's a beautiful place, you know.
Absolutely.
Like I said, I've heard that from my peers and from family members that have been.
Yes.
We'll continue to pray for South Africa.
Yes, let's continue to pray for them, the violence. And you know, we know apartheid is something that us here in America, you know, we know it as the civil rights movement. And when we look at how the folks in South Africa had to press and push for their freedom. Literally. They had to push for their freedom too.
They did. They did.
So we understand that because
because of Nelson Mandela.
Yeah, Nelson Mandela and everything he did.
Yeah, he did. Right before he died, you know, he fought.
He fought years.
Fought lots of years. He was, like I said, he was in jail for 25 years.
That's a long time, bro.
Right.
That's a long time.
He was in jail for 25 years. Came home, you know, made things right. You know,
absolutely. He came home, and so I don't know who the president is right now at this point of South Africa, but you know, it's just that when I read that about, you know, South African government was saying that Palestinian government should be considered an apartheid country. Like they're going through apartheid too. And they're saying that it's the same. And I'm like, nah, it's not. You know, although there's a lot of war going on. And it is, but it's a spiritual war that's happening.
Right.
So it's a little different.
It is.
It's a little different. I can understand from the perspective they're coming from, but it's deep.
It is.
That's a deep war. It goes back again.
Right.
Abraham and Sarah. Okay, let's just put that in context. I think let's really think about that, bro.
Right.
You know, like that's something different.
Right. It is.
So you can't really compare the two, but I'm hoping that we'll see the guns come off of the streets in South Africa. And again, this is something that has affected the country because of apartheid.
Right.
Just like the civil rights movement. Just like we see the correlation of the civil rights movement and apartheid and the pain and the trauma.
Right.
So now guess what? Poverty has set in. And don't get me wrong, there's some good stuff too. There's some good things.
It's a lot of good.
We're not making it all bad.
No. It's just like if we was to talk about here in the United States, you know, there's nothing wrong here in the United States, but we still have certain things that needs to be talked about. Right. So we just talking about what's going on in South Africa. Yeah. And it's really a war against capitalism. You know? It is. If we go deep into it. But again, that's going to be a long show. Because it goes back way further than we could even imagine. I mean, politically, you know, it's the same story as every other country in Africa. Mm-hmm. You know, so this there are certain people that wants to run the country, and there are certain people that they're against those kind of people running the country. Yes. So that tent, it causes a lot of tension.
Oh, without a doubt.
You know, there are certain groups, they'll say, no, this is our country, this is our land. What are you guys doing here? You need to go back to where you.
Oh boy, that's going to be a fight alone. Right. Yeah, so, that's a fight by itself right there. No, it ain't. It ain't your country. Right. You stop that. Right. And then so they finally had to just kind of let go because it costs.
It did.
Apartheid costs money.
It is.
You're going to enslave people and keep people from, from their freedoms. Hey, that's going to cost you some money.
Oh, yeah.
Whether you believe it or not, it's going to cost you some money.
It is.
So they had to. It's so, again, don't nobody want to separate from their money.
Right.
You start hitting people in their pockets and you start seeing what it's costing to keep something like this going. It's expensive.
It is.
How can you push another race of people out of something and it not cost you anything?
Right.
Oh, it's gonna cost you something.
Right.
It's gonna cost you.
Because you're not just gonna take. Okay, you're not just gonna come in here and say, "Look, we own this."
Right.
And you have to look. We have to look into the economy as to what's going on now.
Oh, absolutely.
So, like you said, it is going to cost. It's going to cost a lot.
Oh, without a doubt, man.
So,
it's not.
And it's not going to be easy.
No, it's
also,
not.
It's not going to be easy.
No, it's
at
not.
all.
You're talking about actually saying, okay, you can't come over here. You got to eat over here.
Right.
Can't drink that water.
Right.
So where you gonna get the water from? I mean, you gotta restructure things.
Right.
You gotta fix things. You gotta change. You gotta do so much changing up.
Right.
Come on, man. It's a lot. It's a lot to it.
It is.
And I knew that this conversation would be one that is going to challenge our intellect. It's going to challenge us on so many different levels. That's why, I want to do it again, but I didn't want to be afraid of the challenge, because we talking about everything Africa.
Yeah.
And this is something that happened in Africa, and I just wanted to just kind of touch on it a little bit. And, at some point, we'll be able to go even further as we continue to study, as we continue to get the right people surrounded around us other than yourself that can talk about, can go even in more depth as we talk about South Africa and Africa and apartheid and how it affected the southern region of Africa, how all of that affected it. And
it did.
It couldn't affect everywhere else because that'd have been a problem. What?
Oh.
Talk about fighting.
Right. You talking about a civil war.
Yeah, man.
A civil war.
Yeah. I wonder if that almost was a
and they
thought.
And even in South Africa they also have tribal they have their own tribal
I got you.
I can't even. I can't even bring out the word.
I know what you're saying.
Like they have their own
problems within tribes too.
Right, with their own tribe. Right. They have.
So it's a lot going on.
Right. It's not just black and white.
No. It's black.
Also black on black as well.
Yeah.
It is. It's a lot in South Africa right now. It's really.
I didn't even think about what Australia would consider the outback. And like when you talk about the outback, and when you think about that, and I'm thinking about Africa now, and I'm referring to those that live merely off the land, goats, cows, bulls that just live off the land. When I'm referring to the outback. That's the only
the rural life.
Thank you, the rural life. Yeah. Right. As I was referring to the tribes, you're right. Right. Because there's a lot of war that happens within that that dynamic in itself. So it's a lot, and that's another economic thing. That's okay, we got to fix this. But again, sometimes tribes don't want to change. No. You got to talk to their chief and. That equates to money and power. That's politics too. Right. Because they have their people in position too as well. Right. To say, oh, no. Right. We're not changing our traditions. Right. Because of this. Right. Because of that.
Because, like, sometimes South Africa, it reminds me of Rwanda.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot going, like the story in Rwanda. Right?
Yeah, Hotel Rwanda was a great movie too.
Yeah,
great story, but that's factual things that happened.
Right.
You know.
So
what was the two tribes that were fighting against each other?
Right.
Was it the? I don't even want to try to say it. I'm not. I promise you, I'm not gonna butcher it.
I know I'm
not gonna butcher it either. I promise you, I'm not. I'm not gonna do it. But it was literally genocide.
It is
horrible. But what happened? You know, once I was able to figure out what happened, it was awful. It was the Tutsi in Rwanda, and it was a civil war. Mm-hmm. And the Hutu and the Tutsi. Am I saying it right? Tutsi. Don't laugh at me, brother.
It's the same way you try to pronounce my name.
I know it, brother. God almighty. Okay. What's
it's close enough.
Okay, then. Thank you. The Tutsi.
Close enough.
So I'm sure all of us are familiar with the Rwandan civil war.
I'll be honest with you. Hey, I'll be honest with you. Just because I'm African, that doesn't mean I could pronounce.
Oh, okay.
You know, there are certain names that I probably can't even. But I try. You know.
But I sure try.
But I bet you if it's anything from Nigeria or surrounding areas,
you definitely
I bet you. I know. I know those stuff.
Yeah.
So
the Hutu power, and Tutsi race, racism.
Go ahead.
I think you guys know what we're talking about, okay?
Go ahead.
Oh, Lord, I tell you, man. We having a good time. Listen, man.
We are.
But, we just kind of wanted to have.
We only going to get better and better.
Only going to get better. After a while, Femi going to have me in here speaking Nigerian after a while before it's all over with. But I wanted to do this, man, really just so we could just have a conversation and just kind of start the dialogue. Right. And as we continue with this, our dialogue will get better.
Yeah, it will.
With our African connection as we continue to press forward and,
And we also will try to bring
other conversations.
Other conversations. Or try to even bring some guests. Yes. Guests to the
which is the goal
platform.
To get some African business owners in this area as well.
And, we
can highlight them.
Right.
I know you'll work on that.
Right.
I won't even worry
that way you could see the different. You could see another view or another
perspective.
Yeah, another perspective from somebody else that So that looks like me, that talks like me. So that way you could validate some of the things that we talk about.
Absolutely.
So
and that's good though, because again, we're just growing this part of the podcast.
Right.
So eventually, as time goes by, of course, we're going to get better.
Oh yeah.
The dialogue is going to be better.
Oh yeah.
But we're just trying to.
Now I'll be speaking more. I will be speaking it. I will.
Boy, you crazy. You know what, to coming to America, ain't you?
Yes, sir. I will.
My brother.
But yeah.
Oh, yes, sir.
But it's all in the fun.
It is. It's all in the fun as we are continuing to continue our African connection. And again, we wanted to just touch on apartheid just a little bit. Not too much, but kind of just touch on it to get us thinking about. And if you didn't know about the gun violence that is happening in South Africa, really all over our world,
right?
Even in Africa,
not just in South
Africa, but
a lot of places.
Man. Just want to shed light. And the fact that you said a few minutes ago, Femi, you just said like access to guns in America a little easier than what it is to get. So they really have to have somebody on the inside,
right? Yeah,
can get a hold of those weapons,
right?
And
they have to know people, or So
it's not an easy thing.
Because back in Nigeria, where I'm from, the only people, like I said, the only people that have guns are like military, police, or criminals that.
Wow, I got you.
You know,
yeah. They can get their hands.
Yeah, but just everybody having guns that doesn't.
It's not gonna happen.
So it's either they have friends in the military or if they have friends in the police forces. Mm-hmm. So they get they get their hands on guns. But just to go into a store or just go around the corner to say, oh, I could go purchase me a gun, or somebody that I,
easy.
No, it's not that. It's not as easy as it is.
Mm-hmm.
As it is here in the United States.
Correct. Which I absolutely.
And I also see that the government here in the United States, they still looking into the guns even here in the United States.
Oh, absolutely.
They looking into, but it's gonna be hard because you have certain people that's like, well, it's my right to, own this, it's my right.
See, that's a whole nother element.
Right.
Yeah, you got the NRA, so you got a lot.
Right.
You're fighting with
when it
comes to
the guns.
To the guns, yep.
Gun control.
Yes, sir.
Right.
It's a lot.
So it is.
It's a lot to that. Again, guns equate to money and power.
Right.
And, the killing of, we know what it is.
I know.
Okay?
I know.
So hopefully we can go even deeper in these conversations. And listen, man, let's continue to pray for Africa, but let's continue to pray for our whole world.
Right.
That we will continue to see change happening.
Yes.
Even all over the world, not just South Africa, but all over
the
Africa,
world. Right.
all over our world. And just to let people know, we're all the same.
Right, we are.
We really are the same.
To all our Africans, to all our Black Americans, African American, to all Caucasians, whites. We all are the same. We're the same. No matter how you guys look at it, we all have to come together for the sake of our children. Our children are dying out here.
That's right.
And it's a mother crying every second.
Yes, sir.
Every minute, every hour. So we have to do something about it.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
So.
And I am so glad that we at least attempted to at least keep going with this conversation.
Right.
And, it's not just about apartheid, but we just kind of wanted to just kind of touch on it a little bit and also show how, number one, we all the same.
Right.
There is no difference. There's a problem with guns over in South Africa, all over Africa, as well as over here in the United States and other countries as well.
Right.
So let's just continue to kind of just heal and, be at one with each other.
Yes.
As much as we can.
Love
is the key.
Yes, sir.
Love is the key. And so listen, Femi, if there's anything that you'd like to say in us closing, feel free to say so, my brother.
Well, I mean, we've said it all.
Yeah, we have.
We've said it all. And like I said, we just all need to get involved.
That part.
We're trying to do, that's why we build this platform.
Yeah.
To try and talk about, I know everybody say, man, it's the same topic. Okay. But if we save somebody's life, if we save one person, hey, that's a lot.
That's a lot. And again, these conversations, and we're gonna implement even more people in on this, especially of African descent, so you can get a different perspective,
right?
And also get a clear understanding of what it is that we're talking about.
Yes, we're
just trying to be very consistent with what we put in place,
right?
And you guys bear with us as we continue to grow this part of the platform.
Right.
Again, this is the African Connection.
Yes, sir. African Connection.
Yes, sir. And this is the Roast Clown Podcast. I'm Carl Sr.
And Femi Osinowo.
Peace.